Hey guys, it's Miss White. I just wanted to show you what I've been doing on my time off. As you all know, I'm into Pokemon, and so I've been creating these tiny little nano blocks. They're made with like 250, 120, 150 pieces, and they are really time consuming. I just wanted you to know what I've been doing. Now, today we're going to start the lesson very simply because I want to give ourselves time to adjust to this new type of learning. So starting out today, we're going to learn about the area of a circle. The reason why we're learning about the area of a circle is because it ties into what we really have to do, which is to find the surface area of a cylinder. So we're going to start out with the basic formula. So the formula is going to be capital A equals pi r squared. Now, if you need to pause the video to go get paper and a pencil or pen, yes, you can use pen because I can't see you. You can get a piece of paper and perhaps your calculator, or be ready to use it on your phone so that you can compute the answers. So as I said, the formula is A equals pi r squared. Remember, pi in our classroom is equivalent to 3.14. So the first example we're going to do is a radius of 9. Now, remember in our prior learning, the radius is half the circle. So when we have half the circle, we have what we need for the formula. So we're going to write A equals pi r squared. And then we're going to be looking for the area, so that's our unknown. So for pi, we're going to place 3.14. And our radius is 9 squared. Now, just like in class, you see I put a parentheses around it so you wouldn't become confused with the 3.14 and the 9. So then we continue to follow our form, 3.14. And to square 9, remember it's 9 times 9, and that is 81. Now, once you find that, then you take your calculator and you punch in 3.14 times 81. And you will get 254.34. Now, the directions in the assignment today are going to ask you to round to the nearest tenth. So that's a really bad 3, but the answer would be 254.3. Now, when we were doing this stuff in class, remember we looked to the 4, and since it's 5 or less, we leave the 3 alone. The next one, we'll do a radius of 15. So the same thing, we're going to do A equals pi times the radius squared. So A equals 3.14 times 15 squared. So A equals 3.14. Now, if we square 15, I'm going to bring you back over to the calculator because it's a bigger number. So if you're using a TI-30XA, you would hit 15 and the X little 2 button, and you would get 225. Now remember, if you're using your iPhone, you would hit the X2 button as well. If you have a Galaxy or Android or whatever other phone you have, remember, I don't know about those, so I can't tell you about the calculator. So now I'm going to multiply 3.14 times 225, and I would get 706.5. Now, what's so great about that one is it's already rounded to the nearest tenth, so that would be the answer you would input on the assignment for today. And that's how we find the area of a circle given the radius. Now, as you already know in my classroom, it's not always cut and dry. Sometimes there's exceptions, sometimes you have to make other thought processes. So the first thing we're going to do is look at it, this circle. This time we're going to have a diameter of 20. That's right, diameter of 20. So remember, to find the radius, we must divide the diameter by 2. So our radius would equal 10. So that's kind of like saying this whole thing is worth 20. And if I cut it in half, it's worth 10. So that's where the radius comes in, the 10. So now we're going to write the formula. A equals pi times the radius squared. So A equals 3.14, remembering our radius is 10, and squared. So A equals 3.14, and 10 squared is 100. Now, you can put it into the calculator, or if you know it already, you could say the answer or write it down, but we'll do it in the calculator. So 3.14 times 100, 314. Now, the good news is that a lot of times in measurement, they ask you to put millimeters, centimeters, meters, things like that. But in these lessons that we'll be doing, we're not going to write the measurements, we're just going to use the numbers. But technically, you would probably put millimeters, inches, and things like that. Okay, for the last example, the diameter we're going to use is 14. And remember, for the formula, we need the radius, so we're going to divide by 2. So our radius is going to be equivalent to 7. So that would be like saying this whole thing is worth 14, but we cut it in half because we only need halfway, which would be 7. So we write down area equals pi times the radius squared. So area equals 3.14. We have a radius of 7. So area equals 3.14 times 7 squared is 7 times 7, which is 49. Now, I'm going to come over back to the calculator. I'm going to punch in 3.14 times 49. So the answer we get, 153.86. To round to the nearest tenth, we would take a look at the 6, and since it's 5 or more, we would increase this to a 9. So approximately 153.9. Now remember, when you move into high school, you won't see an equal sign when you're rounding. You will see that sign that looks like this, and that stands for approximate. And because I love you all, I'm not going to make you spell out the word approximation. Now, that wraps up the lesson for area of a circle. If you have any questions or don't understand it, you can email me anytime during the day in school hours. I will try to get back to my email as soon as possible. I don't think there's anything else I need to tell you about finding the area of a circle, but if you need me, I'm only an email away. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.